to my dreams and my old team ran too. Posted up with the damn.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Angelo's World. Welcome back to my world. Today we're going to be reacting to the terrifying last minutes of Aaliyah. Man, all I'm going to say is rest in paradise to Aaliyah, man. She's missed forever. Smash that like button, you guys. And let's get straight to the video, man.
Best female video. The award goes to Aaliyah. Try again.
Yo, Johnny, drop that.
And did he just say Aaliyah, nigga?
Best female video. The award goes to Aaliyah. Try again.
Ah, hell no. Ain't no way this nigga just said Aaliyah.
At the height of Aaliyah's career, she made her mark on the world as the princess of R&B and was on her way to becoming an all-time legend. Her crisp soprano voice was laying the groundwork for an entire generation of contemporary R&B, pop, and hip-hop artists. And at 22, she had already broken several records as perhaps the most successful female artist of her time. But while riding on the wave of success, Aaliyah got into a fatal crash that would take her life and plunge Detroit and the world into deep-seated grief. This is the story and tragic death of Aaliyah, the princess of R&B. On January 16, 1979, Aaliyah Dana Houghton was born in Brooklyn, New York, the daughter of Diane and Michael Houghton. However, the family moved to Detroit when Aaliyah was only 5 years old. She grew up in a musical family, with her mother Diane also being a singer, and her father Michael working as a factory manager. In addition to music, Aaliyah also had a passion for acting and dancing, and she began performing at various events at an early age. While attending Jesu Catholic Elementary School there, she was cast for the play Annie. She liked this play so much that it inspired her to become an entertainer. Entertainment was in her genes. In addition to her mother, her uncle Barry Hankerson was also in the music business. He was the founder of the record label Blackground Records and was married to famous soul singer Gladys Knight.
Nigga, huh?
From childhood.
What? So Gladys Knight was her auntie? What the fuck? Hey, yo. Brief intermission. As y'all can see, got some fresh braids. This video months old. I'm filming it. I'm filming it in September. Yeah. But, yeah. Back to the video.
Music was a passion for Aaliyah. Not winning during the youth singing competition of Star Search as a teenager, she did not put her dream aside. She was determined to develop her singing talent and pursue her music career. At just 11 years old, she had the opportunity to perform for 5 nights with Gladys Knight in Las Vegas. It was an experience that would stay with her
she was not 11, bro. She looked like she was
forever. Aaliyah continued to work hard and study to improve her singing talent. In 1997, she graduated from Detroit Performing Arts High School with a perfect GPA of 4.0. For Aaliyah, this was just the beginning. She knew her dream of becoming a world-famous singer was far from fulfilled, and she was determined to do whatever it took to get there. Her family fully supported her career and played a major role in her success. They took her to music lessons and financed all the associated expenses, in addition to being her support and companion. When I told my parents that I wanted to embark along this path, said Aaliyah, they were with me all the way. They were the ones who shuttled me back and forth to my vocal lessons, dance lessons, private guitar, play rehearsals at Jesu Elementary School, and they even saw to it that the sets for the plays were transported to Marygrove College in Michigan. What could be more important? At the age of 12, She got a record deal with Jive Records and with Blackground Records, her
Age
uncle's record
12.
label. She was introduced to R. Kelly, who became her mentor
that
and
nigga,
also
bro.
lead songwriter and producer of her debut album. Aaliyah's debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, was released in 1994 when she was only 14 years old. It was an instant success. The first single, Back and Forth, became a top 5 hit on the Billboard Hot
She
100
was
and a number 1
14,
R&B
bro.
hit. The next single, a cover of At Your Best by the Isley Brothers, reached the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at number 2 on R&B radio. The album was later certified twice platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America.
Recordings just got better. Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited
My
to
bad, y'all. Hold
announce
on.
that.
But I know y'all hear outside of stuff, so I'm gonna turn it up.
Local recordings are now available on StreamYard.
Twice platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America. I still remember how nervous I was right before Back and Forth came out, she says. I kept wondering if people would accept it. When it went gold, I had my answer, and it was just such an incredibly satisfying feeling. Meanwhile, a personal relationship developed between Aaliyah and her mentor, R. Kelly. At just 15 years old, she secretly married R. Kelly, who was 27 at the time. There were allegations against him that he bribed an official to provide Aaliyah with a fake passport so he could marry her. The marriage was later annulled because Aaliyah was a minor and consent was not obtained. After the stunning success of her debut album, she left Jive Records and signed with Atlantic Records, where she collaborated with Timbaland and Missy Elliott. Her second studio album, 1 in a Million, also became a huge success and was considered one of the most influential R&B albums ever. The album was certified platinum twice and became an international hit. Aaliyah performed in various countries around the world, like Europe, Japan, and South Africa. I love working with Timbaland. He understands what I can do and always wants to try new things. We have a great chemistry. We are musical soulmates, said Aaliyah. After the release of her second album, Aaliyah worked on several projects, including releasing new singles and creating soundtracks for movies such as Anastasia. In 1999, she got her first major role in the movie Romeo Must Die, beginning her acting career. I studied for 1 month in preparation for the fight scene in Romeo. My brother Rashad and I took some martial arts classes when we were younger, so I had some knowledge of the process. Jet Li is really amazing. He's such a natural. He just came in and did his part. It only took 3 days to shoot. At the MTV Movie Awards this year, a lot of media asked me if there were any categories that I would like to see added to the awards. Actually, I would. Best hug and dance scene. In the movie, Jet Li and I never have a kissing scene, but we do have a hot dance sequence. I will never forget the RMD team and their kindness towards me, my brother, and my mom and dad. In 2001, she worked on her second film, Queen of the Damned, in which she played the role of an ancient vampire queen. While working to develop her acting career, Aaliyah never forgot music. In July 2001, she released her self-titled third album, Aaliyah. The album debuted at number 2 on the US charts and sold more than 2.4 million copies worldwide. Unfortunately, the success of Aaliyah was short-lived. On August 23, 2001, Aaliyah and employees of Virgin Records America flew to the Bahamas on 2 flights using a Fairchild Metro 3, chartered through Sky Limo. They were there to film the video for her song, Rock the Boat. Since they finished filming early, they decided to return to Florida on August 25th, even though they had initially planned to travel the next day. On August 25, 2001, Aaliyah and her crew headed to the Marsh Harbor Airport in the Bahamas. Her crew included pilot Luis Morales, hairstylist Eric Foreman and Anthony Dodd, security guard Scott Gallion, makeup stylist Christopher Maldonado, Blackground Records employees Douglas Kratz and Gina Smith. When they arrived at the airport, they were disappointed that the plane they had chartered for the trip had not yet arrived at the scheduled 4:30 p.m. time. Aaliyah and her crew had become slightly impatient. Finally, at 6:15 p.m., the twin-engine Cessna 402 plane arrived. The designated plane was smaller than the Cessna 404 they had originally arrived with. The plane was flown by Luis Antonio Morales. He was a 30-year-old experienced pilot. He began flight training in 1985 and in 1999 obtained a private pilot's license for single-engine aircraft. He had joined Blackhawk International Airlines on August 23, 2001, just 2 days before the accident. Before they could leave, Luis had some disagreement with the crew because he warned them that there was too much weight on board for a safe flight. But because they had waited so long, they were going to leave anyway. According to several sources, Aaliyah was known to be a nervous flyer. On this fateful day, she was very anxious about getting on the plane. She had a headache and felt uncomfortable because of her nerves, so she decided to spend some time in the back of the cab that took them to the airport. As she sat there, one of the crew members approached her to ask what was wrong. When she expressed her concerns about the plane and the flight, she said she did not want to be on the flight. Kingsley Russell was just 13 years old when his stepmother drove the star and her crew to the airport. His family ran a cab business in the Bahamas, and he worked as a baggage carrier to earn some extra money. According to his recent statement, the singer refused to board the plane when she first saw it. She decided to go back in the car and had been given a sleeping pill. As the other passengers and pilot loaded the plane, Aaliyah fell asleep at the back of the cab. When they were ready to leave, they got Aaliyah out of the cab despite her earlier reservations and carried her onto the plane. At that moment, she was still unconscious.
You gonna carry somebody unconsciously on a plane, bro?
From the pill she had been given earlier and did not know she was on the plane. Weather conditions were good, so the plane took off around 6:45 p.m. The plane began flying at high speed over the runway 27 and took off quickly. It banked to the left as it reached an altitude of about 40 feet above the runway. Suddenly, the aircraft tilted forward and hit the marshy terrain with its left wing and nose. The aircraft then rolled around before finally coming to a stop about 300 feet before the end of the runway, heading east. The plane had sustained heavy damage, and a fire broke out after the crash. About 135 square meters of the south side of runway 27 was covered with the wreckage. Louis Key, a 25-year-old charter pilot who worked on an aircraft about half a mile away, witnessed the crash. He saw the Cessna crash when it was only 60 to 100 feet above the ground. The man ran to a fire truck and was horrified when he arrived at the crash site. It was an awful sight. Somebody...
Dawn Power Wash has 3 cleaning boosters not found in traditional dish soaps. It's more than soap, it's power wash.
Bodies were so badly...
Aaliyah's intuition let her know she wasn't supposed to get on that flight, bro. And these motherfuckers just picked her up and put her on... Her intuition let her know. It told her already, don't get on this motherfucking flight, bro.
Disfigured, you couldn't identify them. And 2 guys were alive, one screaming and screaming for help. He was horribly burned all over, said charter pilot Louis Key. I've seen crashes before, but that was probably one of the worst ones, he said. It was pretty devastating. The aircraft was broken into pieces, and some of the seats were thrown from the aircraft. First responders on the scene found Aaliyah's body about 20 meters from the wreckage. She was immediately deceased. According to a later autopsy report, she had severe burns and head injuries. Just before the collision, she had gone into shock that weakened her heart. The coroner later indicated that even if she had survived the accident, her injuries were so severe that she might never have fully recovered. Aaliyah was only 22 years old. Eyewitnesses reported that the pilot, Luis Morales, barber Anthony Dodd, and bodyguard Scott Gallion were still alive when help arrived at the accident scene. Unfortunately, they later died as a result of their injuries. No one aboard the plane survived the crash. Aaliyah's remains were brought back to the United States on August 28, 2001, and then transferred to Newark International Airport in New Jersey. On Friday, August 31st, a white casket containing Aaliyah's body was carried from Frankie Campbell Funeral Home in Manhattan and transported in a glass carriage. The carriage, decorated with pink and white roses, was pulled by white horses. Her body was then transferred to St. Ignatius Loyola Church in New York City, where her family held a private funeral mass. About 800 fans and mourners attended the procession. During the funeral mass, her brother Rashad delivered an emotional eulogy in which he prayed for the strength to carry on until he could see her again. Aaliyah, you left, but I'll see you always next to me and can see you smiling through the sunshine. When our life is over, our book is done. I hope God keeps me strong until I see her again. He read the names of the other victims of the accident and asked to pray for them as well. As the mourners left, they sang the song "One in a Million" by Aaliyah. After the service, 22 white doves were released to symbolize each year of Aaliyah's life. An investigation later revealed that not only did the pilot know the flight was almost certainly a recipe for disaster, but also that he was incapable of flying a plane. He had falsified his license to get a job with the charter airline Blackhawk International Airways, and the pilot knew the flight was almost certainly a recipe for disaster, but also that he was incapable of flying a plane. He had falsified his license to get a job with the charter airline Blackhawk International Airways, and thus was not a licensed pilot. Moreover, this was his first day on the job with this airline. Toxicology reports also found traces of cocaine and alcohol in his body. It was further discovered that the plane was carrying 700 pounds and one passenger more than allowed. In addition, the cargo was not properly positioned, making the plane difficult to control in the air. Aaliyah's family later sued the airline, Blackhawk International Airways, for wrongful death and agreed to an out-of-court settlement. Aaliyah, aka Baby Girl, aka Princess of R&B, will always remain a legend in the hearts of millions of fans from all over the world. Even after her death, she has remained a commercially successful artist, with more than 8.1 million albums sold in the US and 24 to 32 million albums sold worldwide. She received the award for Favorite Female R&B Artist and Favorite R&B Soul Album for her album Aaliyah at the 2002 American Music Awards.
Winner is Aaliyah.
We accept this award in the name of Aaliyah and her devoted family and friends. What up, baby girl? We miss you.
The last music video Aaliyah recorded before her tragic death, Rock the Boat, premiered on BET's Access Granted on October 9, 2001. Two of her posthumous singles, More Than a Woman and I Care For You, peaked in the top 25 of the Billboard Hot 100, and More Than a Woman became #1 on the UK singles chart, making Aaliyah the first deceased female artist to achieve a #1 position on the UK singles chart. Aaliyah lived an amazing life that touched everyone around her positively. Gladys Knight told a source that Aaliyah was brought up in the old school. She was a sweet, sweet girl. She would walk into a room and you would feel her light. She'd hug everyone, and she meant it. Although her life tragically ended before she could achieve her full potential, she will always be remembered as the Princess of R&B.
Bro. So homie wasn't even licensed. He forged his shit to fly that fucking plane. Her again, I said her intuition told her not to get on that plane, bro. Her intuition told her not to get on that plane. And these motherfuckers picked her up and put her on the fucking plane while she was I can't even talk right now, man. That shit just... Man. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That shit just hurt. Knowing that she didn't want to get on it, and basically they forced her to get on it. She was asleep And they picked her up and put her on the plane. Like, that shit is fucking... But I don't even know what to say, bro. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash that like button. Comment down below other videos you guys would like to see. Smash that subscribe button and turn on that post notification bell. Check out my very last video, The Rise and Fall of NWA. It's gonna be right here. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.